Okay, so you only have to hang out with me for about 5 minutes before I probably tell you to subordinate all your activity to the bottleneck. And that can be really confusing, particularly if you have multiple operations, in sequence that have to happen. So I want to walk you through something we did at our factory that pertains to that principle, what we did, then what happened because of what we did, and hopefully you can kind of use this information and apply it to something in your shop to help you out. The more I think about this one, the more I realize how hard it's going to be to explain. So hang in there, let me try. So at my factory, we are my door factory. So we manufacture MDF cabinet doors. And some doors take, a minute. Some doors take 2 minutes, some doors take 10 minutes. So we have this total fluctuation going on all day long, and generally speaking, our routers are the bottleneck. We built an assembly line that's rocket fast, so we're constantly waiting for the router. So this is our machining area. We have 4 CNCs, 1, 2, 3, and 4 back there. Now, all of the doors flow in this. It's his first day. How you doing? I'm good. All of our doors flow this way and end up here at our sanding and gluing line. Now, here's where the challenge comes. So a door has to go from the sanding. This is where we sand the profile, like that, to our gluing station, to our press. Comes out of the press, back around this conveyor, then it goes through our edge sanding machine, and then we do an inspection, and then it comes down this conveyor, and then it goes to our QC station, and then from QC, it goes into a cart with some color coordinated tags to tell us what day it's due. And then we're done here. Okay, so you're following along so far? Seems simple, right? Well, the challenge is that some doors take a minute to sand and some doors take 5 minutes to sand. And if we get a big run of doors that take a minute to sand and our routers are running at, say, 3 or 4 minutes a door, then what happens is the sanding line's going twice as fast as the routers. So all that does is run those stations, those 5 stations after the routers, completely out of work, and stresses out the router operators. They're standing there, and all the pressure of those people standing around is on them. And you know what happens when you put people under pressure? Nothing good. So here's where we get into that principle of subordinating all activity to the bottleneck. So we have to ask ourselves, what's the bottleneck operations? Our CNC. What's our tack time? 2 minutes. We have to produce a door every 2 minutes. So we have to systematically go through each station and slow it down. I know, sounds crazy, right? Hang in there. We have to slow it down to the pace of the bottleneck. And then, so we have some doors that take a minute to sand and some that take 5 minutes to sand. So how do we do that? Do we ask the operators to slow down? Well, check out what we did. We got 2 birds with 1 stone. So we make a 2-piece MDF door with a 3/8 panel inserted into it. And these panels come to us from our vendor. Sometimes they're great, and sometimes it looks like someone sanded them with 80 grit sandpaper. So it's some variation that we've been wanting to get rid of for a while now anyway. I'm trying to get away from the noise. So as demonstrated, that panel that we insert into the frame sometimes comes good, sometimes looks like they sent it through a sander with 80 grit sandpaper and it looks terrible. And generally speaking, we didn't touch that panel before. So now we're in the situation of, wait a minute, we have to subordinate all activity to the bottleneck. So we need our sanding operation to stop doing 1 minute, 5 minutes, 1 minute, 5 minutes, and we need it to be 2 minutes. This is tying in the principle of Hey Junka, which is level your schedule. So subordinating that activity to the bottleneck led us to this improvement. And what we did was we put a robot to sand the panels, and we set the robot speed to sand no faster than 2 minutes per panel. So now, no matter how fast the sanding department wants to go, they can't go any faster than 2 minutes because we're sanding that panel at a pace of 1 minute per side. So we're sanding the panel on the robot, but the person is still doing the handwork on the door. So it's not costing us any time whatsoever to sand that panel, other than now we're pacing this whole line at exactly 2 minutes. And if you check out our timer, we use this production timer from, I'm in your way, sorry, we're gluing panels here. We're running at 2 minutes and 4 seconds. So this cell now is running in perfect time because Cosmo is pacing us. And what happened, you ask? So we slowed down our sanding dramatically. We radically increased we radically decreased the fluctuation coming out of the sanding cell now. So the glue station, the press, the sander, and QC are not getting a door every minute sometimes and every 5 minutes other times. They're getting a door every 2 minutes on that cadence. And what happened is we slowed down the sanders, took the pressure off of the CNC guys. So now half the time they're not freaking out that, 5 people are standing around waiting for them to do their job. Staggering. Productivity has leveled out exactly perfectly. Our time per door has dropped again. And the best part is we added in more quality. We're sanding a part of the door that historically we weren't sanding at all. And now, instead of our panels coming in, sometimes good, sometimes bad, sometimes good, sometimes bad, we bring them all up to our quality level. So now we're in control of that. And it also just so happens when we slowed down the sanding to 2 minutes, we had time to sand the frames now too. So subordinate to the bottleneck, throughput up, quality through the roof. How do you beat that? If you go way back in my history, we used to race dirt bikes lots, and one of the guys always used to say, Brad, slow down to speed up. And this is another one of those counterintuitive lean principles that if it just sounds too crazy that you should slow down all your other stations to the pace of the slow station, just do me a favor, run the experiment for a week and let me know what happens.